Hi, and welcome to another episode of All Things Considered. Tonight, I want to speak to you about regentrification. Is it possible to regentrify a neighborhood without displacing any of its residents? The reason I'm asking this is because I was watching an episode of the TV show Designated Survivor, and Kiefer Sutherland plays President Tom Kirkman. And Tom Kirkman was over the HUD and housing um, within the government. And he is now president. And he contacted a friend of his about a neighborhood in Washington, D.C. that was only a couple of miles away from the White House, but he had never seen how horrible the neighborhood was. Now, he had asked his friend if he could use the same what's that called? The same process of fixing up the neighborhood in the Washington D.C. area as he did in the Atlanta area, to where you can regentrify the neighborhood without displacing any of the citizens. And I'm wondering, is that at all possible to do? And if so, would the residents that are living in that neighborhood be able to handle better environment? What I mean by that is that sometimes you can take a person that's been in the city their whole life and move them to the farm, and they can adjust to the farm very easily. And then you have some people that lived in the city their whole life and they moved to the farm and they're still a city person. When you get used to a certain thing, you condition yourself to accept and handle and maneuver within that particular situation in your life. Whether it be you're in a low income neighborhood, apartment buildings are abandoned, you've got drug dealers and drug addicts and alcoholics floating around your city, you've got crime, and you become conditioned to that. And if you were to change all of that and revitalize the neighborhood and fix it up, would the citizens be able to handle that? Now, in Seattle, there are neighborhoods that have been regentrified. What I mean by that is you have an area where people have moved in and pushed the existing people out, and they have regentrified the area. They have taken it from what it originally was, and they have turned it into something that they feel is better than what it was when they moved in. Is it possible to regentrify Seattle without displacing any of its residents? I was on a Facebook group earlier, and it was on people trying to network with each other, looking for a place to stay for an amount of rent or for a certain amount of rent. Like, do you have a place? I'm moving to Seattle. I need a place to stay. Can you help me? I had a lot of people that were on that had responded to me, and I made a basic plea that I was making I had $500 a month and I needed a place to stay for that amount. Could I find a place like that in the downtown Seattle area? Well, some people were very inconsiderate and they thought it was really stupid and funny. And other people were actually kind of understanding my plight and they felt for me and they were turning around and they were willing to give me suggestions on places where I might be able to go and things I could possibly do. And then I made a comment about how I had planned on running for mayor in the Seattle area, mayor of Seattle in the 2025 elections. And that opened up a whole wide range of conversation. Some were okay with it. Some said, well, if you're only making $500 a month, there's no way I'd vote for you because you don't have enough money to pay for a campaign, which I promptly replied that I believe that you don't have to have money, you don't have to be rich in order to run for office. You don't have to have money to do a campaign. And he basically said that that nobody would take a person seriously if they didn't have any money. Okay, I understand that, which I promptly replied that I believe that YouTube and Facebook is an underutilized platform for doing campaigning. And I believe that whatever is offered to you for free can be used for the betterment of those around you, which he promptly told me that I was a turd and that I was living in a non-reality based reality, and that I was in a twilight zone basically, and I was smoking pot, and he wanted to know where my dealer was located at. So I said goodnight and I cut him loose. So, do you believe that it's possible to fix up an area of the city with the citizens still living there? Or do you think that the ones that run the city are trying to force the citizens out? Do you think that Seattle wants to be a city of affluent citizens or just a city of citizens? Anyway, let me know what you think about that. Put a comment down below. Also, if you have anything to add, you know something I don't, put a comment right below, right down there. Also, hit the thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. Hit that big old thumbs up. Also, hit the subscribe button. Where am I at here? The subscribe button is just right down there. I'm going to let you go on that note. Just remember, we want to make tomorrow better than yesterday by doing the very best we can today. This has been All Things Considered. Have a good night, Seattle, and all points beyond.